Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the season finale of the Anderson Touchdown Club. This is our 38th season. Hard to believe we've been going that long, but 38 years. We'll call on Matt Bailey for our invocation. Matt's with the FCA here.
Thank you, George. Let's pray. God, we just want to begin our night with gratitude for the blessings that you have given each of us in our lives. We know that everything that we have has been given to us by you. And so we thank you for allowing us the opportunity tonight to gather together to celebrate all the incredible things that you're doing in our community and specifically in our sports community. And finally, we just want to thank you for this food. And we ask that you use it to bless our bodies and our bodies to the food to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to your service. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Be seated. All right, we're going to call on our President, Bill Brissy, for some opening remarks.
Thank you, George. Isn't it a great evening to be alive in Anderson, South Carolina? It sounds like the governor, doesn't it? You know, 38 years, a long time. And I was counting up the other day how many awards we've given in those 38 years, and this is probably a little bit less than what we've actually given, but we've given over 2,700 awards during those periods of time. During the regular season, we meet, 13 meetings, and these people up here have done such a wonderful job. Jim and George has done a great job all through the years, and we're just so proud of what they're doing, and we're so proud of the club members and what they've done. And I always have to say this, but in 1981, this club was organized, and that was before Clemson actually won the national championship. We started before, but we helped them win that national championship because 81, and I want Dwayne Loftus to stand up because he was the original organizer of this club. Dwayne, stand up. Let's give Dwayne a hand. I've said this a lot of times, but I think Anderson County is so fortunate to have the 8 county high school coaches that we have. I don't think there's a county in South Carolina that has the outstanding coaches who are such great men, high character, just tremendous men. And I want everybody to applaud these coaches in these 8 schools because they're tremendous people, and I want them to know that. Wren High School won the state championship, and I'm sure you read about that somewhere. I don't think I've seen a team that was quite like that team. I was looking at the box scores again the other day, and it had to be records set with those scores of each team. If you add that up, I don't think that'll be repeated in a long, long time. The box scores, they played 15 games. They lost 2. They lost one to a Georgia team, and they lost to Daniel, but they brought home the bacon. And I don't know whether you realize it or not, but out of the 8 teams in Anderson County, we've only had one other team in the last 25 years that I know about, maybe 30, that had won a state championship, and that was Belton Honeypath in 2004. So I tell you, I want to congratulate this team, and they just have done a tremendous job. And it's just, I don't know what we can say for them, but they had 9 young men that signed scholarships this year. If I'd had a team like that, I believe I'd still be coaching. They ran me off a long time ago because I didn't have players like that, but 9 scholarship players off of that one team. Now that's unprecedented. I don't believe that would happen in a long, long time. But we're so proud of Wren and what they've done, and Coach Tate up there. There'll be more said about that team a little bit later, but this primarily We just want to talk about and congratulate them on what they've accomplished all the way through that season, because it was just a tremendous season. The whole county and most everybody around appreciates what you brought to Anderson County. We really do. And I'm going to be stepping down after tonight, and I want to thank a lot of people that have helped me over the years. I've mentioned George and Jim, but we've had so many other people. I'd like for my board of directors, if they would stand, give this board of directors, because they do a lot in helping us with this thing, if they would stand to put this in. We appreciate all their input and everything that they do in bringing this to the public and to the boys. I'm hoping that we had a lot to do with some of these scholarships. I don't know whether we did or not, but we like to think that we did with these awards that we give every week. Maybe help entice these young men to do a great job so they can win an award next week. Of course, I have to say this past year, Jim, you had Wren, I think, was there every week, probably just about every week, getting one of the 4 awards that we give. So they're just tremendous. But I want to thank everybody that's helped me through the years, and it's just been tremendous. And next year we've got a young man that's going to take over, and I'm sure we'll do a tremendous job. And that's Chris Sullivan. Chris will be coming in, and we're so happy to have you coming in, Chris. Thank you. Thank all of you for coming. The sponsors are so important to us. Hope to continue your sponsorships in the years to come. And I know we have had Billy Dillard sitting over here, and he's one of the original sponsors, Dillard Sporting and Dillard Trophy Shops. I believe they've been with us ever since we started. So thank y'all so much, all the sponsors. We're so happy to have you, and just thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you for all you've done for the club for so many years. And I'll tell you, I think probably Wren even had better statistics than Boys High had back in the 30s or whenever it was when you were playing, even, you know. So, all right, now we got Councilman Jimmy Davis out here. He's going to come forward with some special recognition for Wren.
Thank you all, to the board, to the Touchdown Club, and all that are involved in this great evening where we come to recognize the talent and the sacrifice that these young men, their coaches, and their families have put into this great season, this great championship season. I can't be more proud of the Wren Golden Hurricanes. I'm a second generation graduate of Wren High School. I graduated in 1988. My father was in the second graduating class at Wren. My mother graduated there. So Wren is home to me. I live near Wren, and I'm proud to represent the northern part of the county on county council. And it's such an honor to be here tonight with such esteemed colleagues and citizens of Anderson County. I believe in my heart of hearts that Anderson County is the greatest county in the state. And if you just look around at the great things that we have going on here, look around at the great schools that we have and the local leadership that we have, this is the place to be in South Carolina. And I'm so proud of all of Anderson County and all of the football teams. I won't take up much of your time, but I just want to say a special thanks to Coach Tate and his staff and the administrators at Wren for leading these young men down the path to championship. And I want to thank the players for your sacrifice. And that I know there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that have been spent this past season, but I hope we're here again next year. And I know with your dedication that we can be back here again next year. And I'm very proud of you. The Wren community is proud of you, and all of Anderson County is proud of you. And I was so honored to be able to proclaim this at County Council, and I'm just thrilled to be here tonight to help you celebrate this championship season. In closing, I just want to say these final words. And this is the chorus of our alma mater at Wren. O Wren, with heart and hand in mind, we hold thee dear and favor kind. Success can be sure, life's battle won. Dear alma mater, live on, live on. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. I see Dan Cooper out there. Stand up out there, Dan. Dan's a little Wren guy up there, too. Was in the state legislature for years, and now he's a big shot up at Tri-County Tech. Good to see you, Dan. All right. Now, for all of you who come every week during the season, this is the part of the program everybody looks so forward to. The jokes of the week, the players of the week, the coach of the week, none other than Coach Jim Frazier.
You've heard it said, the old gray mare ain't what she used to be. Well, early, the old gray stallion ain't what he used to be. But he's close. I would be remiss if I did not thank all my friends, board members, coaches, who boasted me with your prayers and cards and everything during my recent bereavement. It meant a lot, and it really helped me through a difficult time. Okay, so Taj, this is champion night, so it's JV joke champion night and varsity joke champion night. So here's the best JV joke of the year. You probably haven't heard this one. So God goes up to Adam and says, it's not good for man to be alone. I want you to replenish the earth. I want you to procreate. There is a lovely creature out east from here that's called woman. I want you to go east. I want you to cross that arid desert. I want you to ford that raging river. I want you to go through that steaming, snake-infested jungle, climb the facade of that mountain. You're going to enter a cave, and there you will find a lovely creature, and she will be woman. And Adam said, well, what do I do? He said, don't worry, Adam. Nature will take its course. And I want you to meet me up back here in 6 months. So 6 months goes by. God comes up and says, Adam, did you do as I said? Yes, sir. I crossed all that terrain. I met that woman. Did you procreate? God, before we go any further, I have one question. What's a headache?
That was a JP joke.
Okay, so this septuagenarian goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, you're in great shape for your age. And the septuagenarian, Bill, is a guy about 18 years younger than you. And he says, you're in good shape. And he's writing, do you mind me asking how your father was when he died? And I say he was dead. He's 94 and doing quite well. Oh, that's very good. How about your grandfather? He's continuing, right? How was he when he died? Did I say he was dead? In fact, he's 112, doing quite well. And he's going to get married next week. And the doctor says, that is truly awesome. To be 112 and wanting to get married. He said, did I say he wanted to? Okay, I'm glad to get to the players of the week now. Oh my goodness. All right. Each week, we give players of the week. Dylan gives some t-shirts. Marlon Moore gives some plaques. And right now I'm going to ask the weekly winners to stand by school. And if you'll hold your applause till all have been introduced. We had the Belton Honey Path Bears, and they were represented by Will Blackston, Clay Bratcher, R.J. Ellis 3 times, Kristen Holm, Joseph Sloan, Quentin Smith, and Coach Russell Blackston. Let's hear it for the Bears from BHP. The Jackets of Tijuana, represented by John Brown, Cam Chandler, Charles Couch, Raymond Fretwell, Will Thompson, Ryan Wynn, and Coach Jason Tone. Let's hear it for the Jackets. The Mustangs of Palmetto, John Bailey Altman, Ethan Gill, Josh Rogers, Raheem Thompson twice, and Coach Doug Shaw. Let's hear it for Palmetto. Pendleton Bulldogs, Andy Nindy, Spencer Jackson, Cameron Jones twice, Jason Wright Mann, Marquis Martin twice, Cameron Williams, and Coach Jan Radford twice. The Pendleton Bulldogs. Powdersville, the Patriots, Carlin Beck, Connor Graham, Thomas Williams, Coach Robert Mustard, the Patriots. West Side, the Rams, Christian Blassingame, Hill Greer, Tyson Lewis, J.M. Ramsey, and Coach Scott Early twice. The Rams, stand up please. That brings us to Wren. This is going to take us a while, y'all. Hayden Adams, Tyler Cherry twice, Des Frazier twice, Carson Galloway 3 times, Colin Kosek 3 times, Harrison Morgan, Reed McMarcy, Joe Owens 3 times, Shaheem Scotland, Eli Wilson, and Coach Jeff Tate 3 times. That's it for the state champion, Wren High School Hurricanes. My pleasure now to give the players of the year. Let's start with offense. We've got Joe Owens. He's a senior, 6'3", 190 pounds. He completed 276 passes out of 469 for 4,486 yards. And Jeff, did I ask you if that was the touchdown total was a state record or not? Jeff? I didn't ask you, but it is. Thank you. He's a quarterback. He had 62 throwing touchdowns and 11 rushing touchdowns. He had 9 interceptions. And one of the few kids in this age of specialization to play both in the state championship football game and the state championship basketball game. Joe played in the All-American offensive defensive game in Miami, Florida, where he was the most valuable player. He is going to matriculate to Alabama State. Joe Owens. We've got a defensive player from BHP. He's Will Blackston. He's a senior. He's 6'2". He is a Shrine Bowl participant, which pits the best players in North Carolina against the best players in South Carolina. Quite an honor. He had for the year 14 solo tackles, 29 assists, and 7 quarterback hurries. He is the Independent Star Student Award winner. And get this, he is the 235-pound state weightlifting champion. How about that, Will? He is a tight end and also a long snapper. He had, okay, he played, he's all region, he's all state, he's going to be a preferred walk-on at Clemson University, and he is also a captain of the team, a member of the Beta Club and the National Honor Society. Will Blackston from Belton Honey Pass. Our other defensive player, and Coach Tate says, you could line this guy up anywhere, on defense or offense, on the sideline coaching, and he's going to excel. He's probably the most complete player I've ever coached, and that's saying a lot. Talking about Des Frazier. And Des, they spell your name wrong again. It's F-R-A-Z-I-E-R. It should be F-R-A-S-E-R, but anyway, we'll settle with it. He's a senior. He's 5'11", 185 pounds, had 103 solo tackles and 58 assists. He averaged 10.7 tackles a game. He's a linebacker, a running back, a kick returner. He had about 85-yard return in the first game of the year against Oconee High down in the state of Georgia, one of their better teams. He had 25 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, and 3 fumble recoveries. He is also one of the few guys in this Asian specialization that was a star in the state championship football game and the state championship basketball game. Des is going to Myrtle Beach Prep. Y'all have a good time down there, Des. Let's have it for Des Frazier. Till Hannah sent us our offensive lineman, John Brown, a senior, 6'4", 275 pounds. He graded out at 91% on the year with 23 pancake blocks. And somebody put in, for instance, that's when you bury them in the ground. He played tackle, defensive end. He had 56 knockdown blocks, no sacks allowed. He's going to Georgia State on a football scholarship. He was also one of the captains of the team, and he played in the North-South Touchstone Energy game, which pits the best players from the upstate against the lower state in Myrtle Beach. From Tijuana, John Brown, and John's already at. Accepted for John is Coach
Tone, T-O-N-E.
I didn't recognize him with his beard. That is Jason. Jason. Congratulations. Our defensive lineman of the year is Marquis Martin from Pendleton. He's a senior. He's 6'4", 360 pounds, and 1.5 axe handles across the shoulders. He had 89 total tackles, 64 first hits, 25 assists, 20 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. He's a nose guard. He's a Region 13, 1-3 Player of the Year. He was an All-State selection, North-South selection, and he's going to play football at Limestone College. Pendleton's Marquis Martin. Okay, so now we're going to go downhill and have Dwayne Loftus introduce our scholastic player. I'm disappointed y'all didn't get my jokes.
Hello, everybody. They asked me to give this Scholastic Award every year. I think it ought to be called the Scholar Athlete Award. But they asked me to give this because I graduated from Furman with a 4.2. Wait a minute. I think it was a 2.4. 2.4. I knew it was something like that.
Don't
But
laugh at anything. You might as well try.
Coach said y'all not going to laugh at anything. Okay. Our Scholastic Athlete of the Year is Colin Kosak from Wren High School. Colin is a senior at Wren and played on the state championship team, of course. He was the 2-year All-Region offensive lineman. He's been the Touchdown Club offensive lineman 3 times this year. He's a South Carolina Coaches Association 4A All-State Lineman of the Year. He's a South Carolina High School Sports Report All-State player. And he's number 4 in a class of 236 students at Wren High School with a 5.202 GPA. That's not all. Of course, he's a member of the Beta Club, the National Honor Society, and he told me he's also in the Spanish Honor Society, and he will attend Clemson University this fall. Colin Kosak.
All right, we'll call on Powdersville Coach Robert Mustar to come up here to present the Coach of the Year award. And while he's on the way up here, Craig Wooten, stand up out there. He's another county councilman we have here. Good to have you here, Craig. And also, some of you might wonder who this is up here getting this picture taken with everybody. That's our presenter, Dickie Smith. Yeah.
Real quick before I get started, Tajh Boyd, if you don't mind. We've met once before, but I'm gonna tell you, if you ever want to see this guy, go to Ingalls and Powdersville. You can't, and I don't go very often, but every time I go, I'm seeing him down clear the other side, and he's got fans in there signing autographs. Nice to see you could be here tonight. Don't know how you made it away from Ingalls. So here's the deal. I got a phone call probably about 2 weeks ago from Nancy Smith, who does a tremendous job running this entire show. And she asked me if I would mind presenting Coach Jeff Tate with the Coach of the Year award for the Touchdown Club. And I thought to myself, duh. Okay, there's nobody better, and I'm not being cocky, I'm going to tell you why. There's nobody better to present this award to Coach Tate than yours truly. And here's why. Not only did I have the privilege of playing for him back at Wren when I graduated, okay, and my time being spent there, he was one of the assistant coaches. He was my head baseball coach, assistant football coach. A lot of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and the inspiration came directly from that man. The next reason is I was fortunate enough to be able to coach for him when he came back to Wren. And then on the other side of it, I've been fortunate enough, if you want to say that, to coach against him. All three experiences have been great. And I got to tell you, so I thought I was going to come up here and just kind of wing this thing until I started doing some research. So I'm going to be a little bit of a nerd and use this index card. And I started writing on a small index card, and it just kind of kept going and going. So I got this big thing right here, and I'm going to rattle off some stuff. Then I'm going to just tell you some things that I think many of you guys know. And if you don't know, you will one day when you get to be my age. And you look back, and you'll have fond memories of that man over there. But these are just some statistics. Region Coach of the Year, 2008 and 2014. Anderson County Coach of the Year, 2008. South Carolina High School Sports Report, Coach of the Year, 2019. South Carolina Coaches State Coach of the Year, 2019. North-South Assistant Coach, 2019. South Carolina Football Coaches Association, 4A Upper State Rep. Assistant Coach on the 2001 State Champions for Spartanburg High School. Assistant Coach for 2004, 2005, 2007, for the state champions for Burns High School. Head coach, obviously, of the 2019 state champions, Wren Hurricanes, has an overall record of 94-43. But more importantly to me than any of that is what I want to share with you. And listen, I could be up here all night. I know some of you, if you don't have that ring connection, you could care less. But I think we owe this, because it's a man who's been in it. Coach Tate, am I right when I say, is it 40 years? 40 years in this profession. That's a long time for any kind of profession. It's especially a long time for a profession where a lot of times you were second guessed. You go home and you feel like you have to confide, and you want to, but you have to confide. You got to have that shoulder to lean on, and your spouse, that's that cornerstone, and you've got to have that person. And sometimes you feel like that's the only person you can talk to. If you're lucky, you've got a great staff, and I'm blessed with that. I know he's blessed with that, and all the other guys in Anderson County, I'm sure it's the same way. But you've got to be able to vent to somebody. And sometimes, parents, I'm not picking on you too much when I say this, but we're all experts up in the stands. And for 40 years, I guarantee you there's always been at least one parent who has second-guessed something he's done, I've done, all of us have done. So the longevity of that career, that's something to be applauded right there. But more so than any statistic that's on here, man, yeah, this is impressive. This is something I think all of us would like to achieve. But the bigger things that I've seen from being somebody who played for him, somebody who coached for him, and coaches against him, this is a guy I can call, and he never shies away. At times when it's the week we're playing, and you would think, man, let's keep our secrets this week, this or that. Me and him, I will tell you, we talk about it. I know it's considered a rivalry because we branched off from Wren High School. It tears me up and it tears him up. But this is a guy who, if I need something, I know I can always go to. All you guys over there and anybody else who has ever coached with him or played for him, you'll feel that. And it might not be right now. It might be whenever you have a family. It might be whenever you're grown. It might be one day when you go back to your 10-year or your 20-year reunion. But it's going to dawn on you that you had a man who loved you. And that's a word that we throw around a little too often sometimes, and we cheapen it when we're like, I love you, I love you, I love you. But I can honestly tell you, that's the first person that was outside of my family who told me that. He taught me it's okay to say that to another man, to a child, and this rubbed off on me, and that's the kind of coach I aspire to be. And I got big shoes to fill. But that right there is leadership, and that's something that's a great role model. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is this. He teaches you more about just football, how to be a family man. Daniel Tate, I don't know if you're here. If you are, stand up. Will Tate, I know you're here. Will, stand up. I don't know if Marissa is here. She's not here. But I remember Daniel, when I was in high school, came up to about here on me. Big Will came to about here on me. And then Marissa was way down there. But I saw how he loved on his family. And that's super important. You got to make time, and if you don't have that, you won't last too long. And last and finally, Miss Lynn Tate, if you would stand up. Those of you who don't know her, and I know everybody probably doesn't, but I guarantee you, those in that crowd do. I can guarantee you, back in the 90s, mid-90s, when I was playing, I knew her. That's the role model for any kind of coach's wife right there. She loves on the kids, and they love her right back. And that's what everybody needs, is a little bit of support. But Coach Tate, super proud of you, and I can't wait to say this right now. 2019 Anderson Touchdown Club Coach of the Year.
Congratulations, Coach. All right, now, the special award we have now, the co-recipients of the Extra Yard Award. We've got our incoming president and outgoing president making these presentations. Come on up, Bill Brissy and Mr. Sullivan.
Excuse me. God, coming on after that, and after all Frazier's jokes, man, that's the worst spot on the program to come in after these guys. Tonight is a great honor of mine. The Extra Yard Award, I think, is a tremendous award this club started. I get the first one. I'm going to recognize from BHP, James King. James is a senior at BHP. He has participated on the football team, wrestling team, and the soccer team. James is a wonderful young man and as always greets you with a smile and a handshake. James has a handicap on his right hand that he's had his whole life. This handicap has never limited him in any sport that he has played. Over the summer, he had surgery on his chest. The chest deformity is called pectus excavatum, which is an abnormal condition in which the breastbone sinks into the chest. James had to stop playing contact sports for 1 year. James was put as the kickoff kicker on the football this year. It was such a blessing to see him put on that football uniform and kick the football. This speech is coming from his head coach, by the way. Coach Blackston did all this. We called him our secret weapon. James has overcome so much adversity. During this football season, his father passed away and he only missed one practice. We begged and pleaded for him to stay away, but he was committed to our team. James is currently a Michelin scholar, which means he is working 8 to 20 hours per week while going to school. The internship is going to allow him to get certifications required to work at Michelin and also pay for college. If he performs well, then he will have the opportunity to be hired by Michelin. So y'all please, large round of applause for James King. So I let James in on this earlier. When you have a club president that's been here for 25 years, all the mail goes to Bill Brissy. All the phone calls go to Bill Brissy. You can't get anything done here without it being through Bill Brissy. But secretly, we had an executive board meeting a while back and made the decision to change this award, which you'll see on his plaque, to the Bill Brissy Extra Yard Award. Forever, this will be known as the Bill Brissy Extra Yard Award. And the plaque you're about to hand out also has your name on it. But this is a tribute to you as well as to the players. But welcome our Extra Yard Bill Brissy Award winner, James King.
Well, I tell you what, it gets tough when you get words like that. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it. Yeah, we started this award a few years ago, and I think I do think it's probably the best award that we have. I know there's a Bible verse in the Bible saying that everybody runs a race is not but one winner, but we had to double up on that this year because we had two people that I thought were just tremendous, and we selected two people. Our next award winner is from West Side. We'd like for Carlos Hernandez, please come up. Carlos is a young man that's had probably as tough a life as anybody I have ever read about. Anybody I've ever seen, ever known. He entered the 9th grade over at West Side and was having so many problems that he had to go to a group home, and he was separated from his family. And I don't know the whole circumstances, but I understand that will never be, they'll never go back together again. Will never be with his family. And this young man rose above all of these things that's happened to him. In his sophomore year, he came out for football, and some things happened and got a little bit worse. And he decided that he didn't want to play football anymore, although that's the only thing that he seemed to enjoy in his life. And then in his junior year, he decided after going through so many difficulties, I'm not going to cover everything because he's had a tough life. And this young man deserves everything that we're giving him tonight. But he came back to the team and told them that the only thing he enjoyed was the football team, and would they accept him back. And then a few weeks later, they had some more family problems. It caused a real emotional team meeting with him, and they said, we'll be your family. West Side football team will be your family. You can count on us to do the job and to take care of you, whatever we got to do. And I think that's just a tremendous thing coming from a bunch of young men to give Carlos and to give him the right to do it. Now, he probably came back without knowing whether he'd ever play any football or not. His talents were all right, but not real good. Well, fortunately, this past year, he was really important in a play that won one of the region games. And I think that's just tremendous. Now, right now, of course, he's living just doesn't have a family. He's still going through the things, but football is the only thing that he knows and the only thing that he enjoys. And the football team has taken him on as one of their brothers. And I think tonight, I want to say, Carlos, you've done a great job coming through everything that you've been through, and it's been a tremendous life that we're looking forward to see what you're going to be doing 5 years from now, and I'm sure it's going to be something good. Thank you so much.
Hey, congratulations, guys. All right, to introduce our guest speaker tonight, we have Kevin Selman, who normally does our pick'em contest during the regular season. Kevin.
Thank you, George. Our speaker tonight is Mr. Tajh Boyd. Tajh came to Clemson in 2009 from Hampton, Virginia. After being redshirted for the 2009 season, he played sparingly in 2010 behind Kyle Parker, completing 33 of 63 passes for 329 yards and 4 touchdowns. Boyd took over as a starter in 2011 and helped lead the Tigers to a 10-4 record, winning the ACC championship and earning the school's first ever BCS Bowl bid. He finished that year completing 298 of 499 passes for 3,828 yards and 33 passing touchdowns. He also ran for 218 yards and 5 touchdowns. During his second year as a starter in 2012, Boyd helped lead the Tigers to an 11-2 record, completing 287 of 427 passes for 3,896 yards and 36 touchdowns. On November 17, 2012, in a game against NC State, he broke the ACC record for most touchdowns in a game. Boyd threw for 5 touchdown passes and ran for 3 more, collecting 8 total touchdowns and racking up 529 all-purpose yards. After the season, he was named ACC Player of the Year and AFCA First-Team All-American. In 2012 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl game against LSU Tigers, Boyd completed 36 of 50 passes for 346 yards and 2 passing touchdowns, as well as a rushing touchdown, and was named the game's MVP, a game that Clemson won 25-24. As a senior in 2013, the Tigers went 11-2, with Boyd completing 283 of 413 passes for 3,851 yards, 34 touchdowns. On November 14th of 2013, Boyd set the ACC career passing touchdown record. In his final collegiate game against the Ohio State Buckeyes in 2014 Orange Bowl, Boyd helped lead the Tigers to a 40-35 victory, completing 31 of 40 passes for 378 yards and 5 passing touchdowns. He also ran for 127 yards and a touchdown. His performance set an Orange Bowl record for total yards in a game. Boyd finished his career with school records for passing yards with 11,904 and passing touchdowns with 107. He is currently the all-time leader in both of those categories. Tajh was selected in the 6th round with the 213th overall pick of the 2014 NFL Draft by the New York Jets. The following year, he signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. After his NFL career, Tajh had stops in the Canadian Football League with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Montreal Alouettes. In 2014, while playing in the NFL, Tajh founded the Tajh Boyd Foundation. His foundation empowers youth in the upstate through education, sports, and mentorship. Tajh is currently head of sales for Lakeside Lodge in Clemson. It's my pleasure to introduce y'all Mr. Tajh Boyd.
Kev just ripped that straight off of Wikipedia right there. So that's what we got. This is a beautiful night. football is such a special game. It is an unbelievable vehicle. It's going to take you places that you never thought you would go, and it's going to introduce you to people that you never thought you would meet. And, I think I'm a testament to that, right? I never thought that coming from Hampton, Virginia, I was going to end up in the great state of South Carolina playing for Clemson University, where I would learn how to, unfortunately, chew tobacco, where I would, sing karaoke at Powersville Pub on Friday nights, and where I would learn how to hunt wild boar with nothing but a knife, So these things, it's going to take you places. And, the big idea, the message that I'm really going to share with you tonight is about community. It's about team. It's about family. And growing up where I grew up at, that's all we really had. I'm from Hampton, Virginia, but I grew up in Virginia Beach. Dad was in the Navy. I never learned how to swim, and none of it makes sense, But as I'm going through that journey, I had an unbelievable high school career. Fantastic coach. His name was Bill D. He's very much like Jeff Tate. He's a guy with discipline, integrity. He's a guy of family. And unfortunately, I don't have that man in my life anymore. He passed away a couple years back. And I would just like to tell Coach Jeff Tate, congratulations. This is a special moment for you. I know the one thing that you had in common with my head coach is that you both are older than the bricks on the school. And it's about time, so congratulations, all right. Andy Reid just got him one too, so that's good company right there, all right. But I tell you, when I was going through that process, growing up, playing for different middle schools, playing for different high schools, when I found my team, when I found my guys over at Phoebus High School in Hampton, Virginia, there was something special about it. And the one thing that made it special was this common goal, this common mantra that we had. And in everything that we did and in everything that we wore, what you saw was Team Me. Team was huge. The me was this big. And I started to realize that place and that saying and that culture was going to be the biggest thing that ever happened to me. We won 43-2 when I was in high school, won 2 state championships. Unbelievable program. But what I take from that more than anything is the work that I put in with my guys. And so I want you guys to understand this. Community matters, right? The people in those stands, the people that are feeding you guys, pregame meals. Carlos, I don't know what's happening in your life, but I do know that you got community. I know that you got family right here in this room. All right, so just know that it's going to be okay, because community is the thing that saved me. One of the things I realized, and I think I came up with some, learning from Coach Schwinn, you start to come up with little euphemisms yourself, and I figured out the ABCs, right? The thing that makes each team great, and it's accountability. All right, accountability builds character, but culture creates commitment. All right, accountability breeds character, but culture creates commitment. And when you start to put in this accountability, when you start to look these guys in the eye and realize that it's not just you out there fighting on the wings, you start to build something special. And the cool part about my experience at Clemson was that I was a part of that transitional piece. Right? I came in as Coach Swinney's first quarterback recruit, his first commit. And there was a group that was dubbed the Dandy Dozen. All right, there was 12 of us. We were, in a sense, early adopters. He comes into my living room as Jim Trussell and all these other head coaches are walking out. And he was, fairly an unknown. He just took over as the head coach. And he sits down and he tells me, what he can't give me. He essentially tells me that he's none of these coaches that have been sitting in my living room. Told me that he hasn't won anything that he's won, that he hasn't put anybody in the NFL, that he doesn't even know if he's going to be there in 2 or 3 years. But he said, look, if you come here, we're going to do something special together. And his brutal honesty, his truth was what sold him. And so many times, man, you guys, especially the youth in this room, you want people to tell you what you want to hear. And that's the wrong way to do it. They're going to tell you what you need to hear. And that brutal honesty is what's going to take you to that next step, because it's not just football we're talking about here. All right, we're talking about business. We're talking about family. Hopefully the kids that you have, we're talking about community. And so the people that are pouring into your lives on the day-to-day, your teachers, your coaches, your parents, your cousins, your aunts, your grandparents, whoever it is, I want you to understand and realize that you're an extension of them. All right, and what you guys have been able to do over at Wren and what you guys have been able to set at your high schools prospectively is amazing, because you're setting legacy. All right, one of the things I realized early on was that this life, right, it's about the legacy you leave, and it's about the life that you lead. And we got a chance to do that in everything that we do, and the handshakes that we give, and the hugs that we give, and the smiles that we share every day throughout this community. You realize that people are watching. All right, so it's important. It's in all your tweets, and I'm sure that you heard that. All right, it's in your tweets. It's in your Facebook messages. It's in your Snapchats. It's what you do in the hallways. It's what you do in the community. Look, Coach, I go to Ingles about 3 times a week. I don't like taking pictures all the time. I don't like signing autographs all the time, right? But I also realize that there's a duty there, right? There's an obligation. There was a time in my life where, I was going through a rough time, and people were the ones that got me through it. So if you got an opportunity to share something with somebody, create some sort of smile for them, some sort of joy, then you might just be helping them out way more than you have anticipated and way more that you know. And I tell you, Clemson was a big part of who I am right now and who I am going forward. I'm sure that you heard it. Coach Sweeney always talks about best as a standard, right? It's the best in the classroom. It's the best on that football field. It's the best in the offseason. It's the best going forward. And what you guys got right now is special. Every kid that I know in middle school and high school, they can't wait to get to that next stage, right? Can't wait to get out of middle school to get to high school. I can't wait to get to high school so I can get to college. I can't wait to get out of college so I can be an adult. I'm telling you, taxes ain't fun, all right? Taxes ain't fun, Mortgages ain't fun, you feel me? But high school, man, it's a special time. And I don't want you to wish it away. And I also don't want that to be the best 4 years of your life. I don't want high school to be the best 4 years. I don't want college to be the best 4 years. I want you to enjoy those moments and really take heed to what's happening within that time period. But if those are the best 4 years, then what do you have to look forward to going forward, right? Take what these coaches are telling you, man, and eat it up. I promise you they're not trying to steer you in the wrong direction. Everything that they're telling you is from a place of love. It's from a place of realness. These guys have been in way more situations than you expect, Sure, they didn't have the smartphones back when they were in schools, and payphones were a thing, and you guys don't even know what that is, but the things that they're speaking into you doesn't change over time, all right? Mindsets don't change. The workmanship, the craftsmanship, the things that you're doing on a day-to-day, those don't change. Greatness comes one day at a time, one rep at a time, one note at a time. And the things that you're going to do now are going to set up the things for what you want to do later. All right, so also realize that. You guys know who I am. All right, I played at Clemson and had a really prolific college career. And it didn't necessarily shape out the way I thought it was in the pro level. All right, got drafted way later than I anticipated. And I tell you what, I've been dumped by girls before, man, it's no issue. When I got drafted to the Jets and I got released, it was a load that I had never imagined. And I thought I knew how to handle rejection. I thought I knew how to handle failure. But obviously that wasn't necessarily the case, Because what you get at that level, you don't necessarily see it on Hard Knocks. They show it to you a little bit, but they got these guys called the Reapers, right? Grim Reapers. You're going through practice every day, right? Trying to take up as many notes as possible. You're sitting there getting 80, 90 play installs every day. You might get 3 or 4 reps, maybe. Depends on where you're drafted at. It's a money game. We'll talk about that later on. All right. But I tell you, we're going forward. I'm going through practice every day. I think that I'm getting better. And I make it all the way through preseason. We get to the 5th game. I get into the second half, right? 7 for 11, 109, a touchdown. I think that's good enough to save me. We're playing the New York Giants, And Coach Rex Ryan calls us up and says, hey, I'm going to give you guys a call on Sunday. If you get a call at 12, meet us at the office. But if you don't get a call, show up at the facility and you're on the team, So I get a call at about 11:50, 10 minutes before that deadline. And guy calls, he says, hey man, bring your playbook. and take the playbook up to the facility. There's no coaches waiting there. There's nothing like that. You go and they give you a black trash bag. You clean out your locker. Take that walk of shame, walk to the locker room. Guys like, damn, T, what happened? Like, they got me, you know? Kind of one of those deals, you know? And the things that I had to do to get prepared for that were things that I hadn't done in a very long time. I mean, I played ball. My average weight was about 225, 230. You know, I was in Fat Boy camp every year, you know, before every season. And so this quarterback coach says, hey, Taj, I want you down to 205, 210. I'm like, man, if that's what it's going to take, then I'm going to get it done, you know? So I was eating salmon every day. I was eating chicken. I was eating broccoli. Kept it super clean. I was waking up at 3:30 in the morning running gassers. And, you know, all of these things that it took to lead up to that moment didn't necessarily play out the way that I anticipated. And, man, I just took it, you know, and just fell off the deep end, man. Just destructive, just self-destruction. And I got a 13-hour car ride home. I got that black bag. But they did have about 40 cases of Gatorade on the way out the door, so you know I had to grab me some, all right? Wasn't leaving empty-handed out there, you know? And look, man, I'm driving. My mom's calling me. I don't want to pick up the phone. You know, I'm breaking down. I'm hyperventilating, can barely hear myself, you know? And so I'm listening to, you know, Johnny Cash, got the windows rolled down. I'm screaming. I get pulled over twice, you know? Cop's like, man, why are you speeding? I'm like, this is the worst day of my life. Just got cut. He's like, oh, man, that sucks. And he still gave me a ticket. You feel me? No brakes, you know? And as I was driving, you know what I saw? Chick-fil-A. Again, salmon, chicken, broccoli, a month and a half straight. So I got 2 chicken sandwiches, 3 milkshakes, fam. And I'm not even exaggerating. Cookies and cream, you know? Do it back. But look, I went off the deep end. Didn't know how to handle it, you know? And it was so wild, man, because I had these expectations. I had this whole thing laid out on how I was going to take care of my family, you know? And I didn't go home. I drove to Pigeon Forest, Tennessee. Went on a whiskey binge, fam. Jack Daniels honey, you know? A little bit of ginger, more Jack Daniels honey, you know? And I was hurting, you know? Just didn't want to go out in public. You know, I got to the point where my mom called Coach Sweeney. Coach Sweeney calls me in the office, you know? And I go and I'm sitting there and I'm breaking down in front of him. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't even know, you know? It's like I was on my soapbox. And he says, Taj, look, he was like, the things that you did on the field were important, but the people that you impacted while you were playing is bigger. And again, I don't know where this journey takes any of you guys, but I'm telling you, there's people that sit in those stands every Friday night that you gave joy, and it means something. You might not think that it does, but I promise you, 10 years from now, they're gonna say, hey, Eli, man, I remember that catch that you dropped in the back of that end zone against Greenville High School, and did you drop that against the Greenville? I don't know. I'm just joking. It was supposed to be a catch. But no, you guys are special, man. And the thing is, I live in the Powdersville community. I do. I don't know how I got there, but I'm in Powdersville, all right? I'm on the board of the Y, and I still can't swim. None of it makes sense. But Coach Tate, man, the Koseks, the Morgans, Eli, Joe Owens, I don't have your hair. I'm losing it. That's why I got to grow it out. When I see these kids in the community, man, they're a testament of Wren High School and of Anderson. It's bigger than you, and it always will be. Never bigger than the game. I think we saw that firsthand with Antonio Brown, all right? Nobody's bigger than the game. This is just a vehicle for all of us. But it all has a special place in our heart, and it all does special things for us, each and every one of us. For the families, for the little brothers, for your sisters that's out there cheerleading for you. Like, this is special. This is a real thing. And, now when I go back, I'm going to go back to Clemson. When I go back home to Virginia, nobody talks about what didn't happen. They talk about the things that impacted them along the way. I'm telling you, it's special. And for the coaches in this room, man, you guys know, you got some headaches out there, I'm sure. Some of the kids that you think aren't listening, just keep pouring it to them. However much, bashing in their heads, not literally. My high school coach used to do that, but I think you guys would probably go to jail for that now, so probably want to steer clear. I know it's a couple angry coaches in here for real, though, tone it down a little bit, But you guys, man, the impact that you're making on these kids, the kids that you don't think are listening, I promise you that they are. And you're going to come and thank you for that. I'm sure we got some teachers in this room. I've been trying to find my third grade teacher for the last 4 years. She wouldn't know me. She gave me a book one summer, and that book, to me, symbolized the belief that she had in me. All right. And so these kids, these youth, as old as you guys think you are, you're not. You're not, man. Don't wish it away. You don't get that time back. That's the one thing, it's fleeting. And unfortunately, none of us make it out of here alive, all right? But what are we going to do with the time that we got? We're going to make the most of it. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to laugh. We're going to have fun. I don't miss playing football. I don't. I miss the locker room, though. I miss my guys, I miss those winter workouts, those summer workouts, them hills that y'all run that you think suck. I promise you can get to a point when them knees start to hurt and you wish you could run them hills again, I was showing some kids how to go through the ladder and I almost tore my ACL last week, all right? Enjoy it, But this is right here, this community, this team, this family, this is what it's about right here. Oddly enough, for the people that don't know each other in this room, you all intersected on this one night together. And this is a moment that you can share. Because again, when I was hitting my lows, it was Jesus and it was community that saved me. And that's what you guys got right here. And I'm going to leave you with this, all right? I didn't want to look down. I got to look down. It was pretty good, so I had to write it down over here, all right? You're better than your worst mistake, all right? And you're greater than your last victory. There's going to be people that tell you that your best years are behind you, yeah? But what does Coach Sweeney always say, yeah? The best is yet to come, all right? And everything that you do. So again, take heed to the coaches, to the parents, to the people in this room, because this is special. Kev down here, he was like my personal escort, half of the time. Getting me off the field, picking me up, grabbing me when I was hurting, and he's still here. The people that are here in your life, they've been through it with you, thick and thin, and they want to see you win through it all. All right, so just remember that, stay encouraged, be proud of who you are, be proud of the decisions that you make, and be proud to be a part of a team, because that's not something that everybody gets a chance to do. I go to work every day, I do a lot of different things too, real estate is one of them, but man, I got this entrepreneurial spirit that's alive right now, so I'm rocking and rolling, baby, no days off. And, when I'm going through it, you start to realize that we live in a world where every man is for himself, all right? But not here, not for these teams. And the legacy and the tradition that you guys are leaving, man, is unvaunted, undaunted. It's special. It's unprecedented. You seniors, you realize time is up, right? This is it. We don't know where this next step takes us. We know it takes us somewhere. But it's important for you guys to share that to those juniors, to those sophomores, to those freshmen. Because right now they think they got all the time in the world, and they don't. But the steps you're taking every day, the encouragement, the motivation, the work that you're putting in, the servant leadership, the things that they're seeing throughout the community is what makes this place better. And from what I've seen, you guys are doing that. So I appreciate you. I thank you. And we probably got a few Gamecocks in here, but go Tigers. Yeah. Oh yeah, look, we got one more thing too. I forgot about these, So we got my senior year, we were started off the season, all right, pretty highly rated. I think we were number, 3? Started off season at 3. All right, we beat Georgia, first game of the year, 38-35. We're playing Florida State like 4 or 5 weeks after that. And so it's number 3 versus number 5, all right, the biggest game in the ACC history. And, you know, I'm walking with Kirk and David Pollock the whole week. You know, it's cameras, they're coming to class. You know, I'm a big man on campus, baby. And we went out there and we got beat 51-14. Man, talk about rough, you know. Couldn't sleep that night. And so, you know, life is about how you respond when you get hit, right? It's about the adversity. It's about bouncing back. And Coach Swinney calls a team meeting, one of the cheesiest people I know. But I'll tell you what, everything he does with intention. And as we were fouling in, he's sitting there, he's bouncing these tennis balls, you know, just up and down for about 5 or 10 minutes. He says, fellas, we got blown out. He's like, but we got to bounce back. And so I still got that tennis ball. And I like to do the same thing because for each and every one of us in this room, the ups and downs, the things that we go through every day, right? The daily stresses, the daily struggles, we got to find those small wins. So it's all about bouncing back. So this jacket a little tight, but I'm going to toss it, all right? That was kind of fast right there. All right? Are we all in this room? This room over here, all right? And we got, can you catch it? Which one?
Oh, Dickie Smith, he can't catch it.
All right, there we go. And look, I ain't finished yet. I'm still going. I learned this from Coach Swinney. Look, when you think he's done, he's not. All right. We're going to keep going. Hand me that expo right there. All right. So, when I was hitting these lows, I was still a big guy, you know. It's the JV joke right here. All right. When I was going through those lows, you got to go through a checklist every day, right? Figure out how to combat it, figure out how to rally, bounce back. But there's certain things that we need to make sure that we're accounting for every single day to make sure that we're becoming better, all right? And so I got this balance board, and you can find different quadrants or different variations of this, but this is just the one that I wanted to have made. And so every time I do a speech or I talk to somebody, I give one of these out. And you know, when I finally got aligned and finally found my balance, this is the things that did it right here. My spirituality, my physical, right? Getting back out there every single day. My relational, you know, sometimes, man, I got 200 unread text messages on my phone right now. And that is something that I try to get better on, but unfortunately, I don't. So we're working on that side of it. And then it's the mental and brain capacity. I know everybody is on the Fortnite kick, Call of Duty Warzone, or whatever that's called. I tried to play it this morning. Oh, it was ugly for the boy, you know. Got shot out by the parachute, you know. But before I go to sleep every night, I try to read, all right? And what am I doing that's going to educate myself, that's going to continue to propel myself forward and accomplish the things that I want to? Now, this right here is going to go to a player of Coach Tate's choice, but I'm also going to give one to all the coaches as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this. It is an expo whiteboard, so you guys can have that. And again, I appreciate you. Tough out here. Bounce back, baby. There we go.
Great job, Taj. I tell you, I was thinking about it when Taj was up here speaking, and you know, I don't think there's a player at Clemson who played a bigger role in Clemson being what it is today than Tajh Boyd. I mean, he got it all going, and it's still going great now. We're going great for years to come. Taj, can you really not swim?
Nah, man, that's over with for the boys.
Man, that's great. I'm going to tell my sister that. That'll make her feel a lot better. She can't swim either. But, all right, now, to introduce our new incoming president, our old president, President Bill Brissy. Come on up, Bill.
You know, I didn't hit the punchline when I meant to end up when I was giving the award to this young man over here, but he is now making good grades. He's slated to start on defense in the spring, and when he finishes next spring, he plans to go in the military to serve our country. Don't you think that's tremendous? You know, when Nancy called me and asked me to introduce Chris, I said, well, everybody knows him. What in the world can I say about Chris Sullivan that nobody knows? The only thing I can say is that we've been associated pretty closely in the last few months, and I've learned that he's a guy that likes to get things done. And I'm hoping, and I know that he'll carry on a tremendous job, a lot better than I could do, because he knows all about the new stuff that they do. He can do computer work, he can do all of that, and Brissy knows nothing about that. I can't turn him on hardly. So anyway, he does a whole lot. And last year, we started to give him credit for bringing Kirby Smart, but Wayne Jones' son brought Kirby Smart, so I can't give him credit for that. And he's going to be a tremendous president. He has a business downtown. Some of you ladies need to go in there and buy your clothes. He's been a real active person in the community for a long, long time. He's active in the soccer programs and does a whole lot for Anderson. And it's just I really feel great about being able to present to you again Chris Sullivan, and I'll call him my friend, because we hadn't known him that well until just a few months ago. But he's been a club member for a long time, and he does a tremendous job. And he's a pretty good pick'em contest. He does so he knows a lot about gambling. If y'all want anything about gambling, just call Chris. But Chris, come up, buddy.
So I'm a good gambler. Do not take my advice on anything. There's a guy in the back of the room who knows that really well. I appreciate it. This is a huge honor. A lot of clubs y'all have seen come and go over the years. Very few clubs last like this has. You got Rotary clubs, Rotoma clubs, anything lasting since the 80s. It's amazing. It's very hard to keep it going. Bill's been doing it for 25 years. I was joking when they nominated and elected me. I was a 3-year starter on the TL Hanna golf team to become in charge of the touchdown club. There's got to be a 30 for 30 on that coming somewhere. That doesn't kind of jive too well. But I'm excited about it. I love this town. I love all the schools. I want to make sure all the high schools know everybody's going to be treated equally. We're excited to have you. I want your ideas. I want your energy. We're actually having a board meeting in about a week to discuss next year, location, everything. We're going to make it exciting, make it fun for the kids. And make sure our basis is in honoring the youth coming through our football program. I think it's a huge thing, and we're going to keep it going. Right now I'm going to do the Past President's Award. I'm going to hand this to Bill. If you'll come up here. In recognition and appreciation for your 25 plus years as president of the Anderson Touchdown Club, for your tireless service to honor and recognize the talents of the amazing student athletes in the 8 Anderson County schools. I'm presenting this to you on March 11th, 2020, Past President's Award.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Jeff, I'm going to call on you to come up here. Do you want to introduce Jeff? You go ahead. All right. Our last part of the program, we're going to have one coach who's been nominated to represent all the coaches for all that he's done. So, Jeff Tate, I'm going to ask you to come up and say a few words.
Thank you. The reason we're here tonight is because of the game of football. It's the only reason we're here. And everybody represents a different aspect. And as has been mentioned, I've been around a while. And I'm not as old as the bricks. Maybe the mortar. I will say this. The things that Coach Buster said, he embellished a little bit. I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. It's appreciated, but those of you who have been in this position as a head coach, you'll be the first to say, you can't do it without a great support group. You got to have somebody that can delegate to people who can get the job done. I don't know how many coaches Mr. Brissy went through in 25 years. I don't know how many players he got to see and be around. But the influence of this touchdown club in Anderson County is second to none. The things that you do for the kids, how you recognize them each week, and the things that are said and done above and beyond. that does not have to happen, because I've witnessed it at other touchdown clubs throughout the state. There's none better. As a matter of fact, there's none even close. They don't have anybody can tell jokes like Coach Frazier. They don't have anyone that has the vision that this board has had over the last 25 plus years, because it continues to grow. For me, on behalf of the coaches here in Anderson County and all the coaches who have come through before, we appreciate and thank you, Mr. Brissy, for your hard work, your dedication, your leadership, all the things that it takes to run a team. We do appreciate you. Thank you and congratulations, and good luck in your retirement. Don't stay away from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, get your tickets out. We're going to do some drawings for some door prizes here. But this is autographed football. Get your numbers out. The last 3 digits. 117. 117. You have to be present to win. Back here. Come on up. Sounds like you might ought to check that ticket, Nancy. Okay. Is that it? Okay, that's it. Well, that's about it for the night, folks. Just want to say a few things in closing. I want to thank Bill again for his many years of service. You got no idea how much extra time he put in on the Touchdown Club to make it the Touchdown Club that it is today. And thank you again, Bill, for all you've done. Let's give another big round of applause. And Nancy Smith back here, she really has done a great job over the years helping things out. And thank you, Nancy. And our caterer tonight, Dwayne Dove, is he here? Dwayne, good job over there, Dwayne. All right, folks, that's about it for another year. Everybody drive safely on the way home. Good night.
You're going to be the new head touchdown club, Anderson Touchdown Club.
Starting tonight.
What do you have planned? Do you have any new ideas or anything new you want to do?
So for the past several years, we've been meeting at the Anderson Library. We've kind of had a consistent meeting there. The opportunities come up we're looking at. We're having a board meeting in about a week. But the Anderson Technology Campus, beautiful building. We had a meeting there this past year, and a lot of people had interest in wanting to look at that location for our meetings. And so we're actually meeting there and looking at beautiful building. Holds about 250 people in the room where we're going to. But and kind of looking at maybe make it a little bit younger for some of the folks. I know some of the speakers we've had. We've kind of had some of the, I guess, older speakers, not as I like them, but in talking with the kids, I've kind of, during the meetings, sat out there with the kids during the meetings and the ones that are winning the awards, and I was like, what do y'all like? What kind of speakers do you interest? Do interest you? And like Marcus Lattimore spoke, and the kids were like, that's what I love. Like, that's somebody I can associate with. He's life after football. So, we're going to look at kind of opening up the speakers and finding some guys, local guys, maybe from the local high schools that have gone through the pros, and opening that up, making it definitely a little more friendly to some of the younger players that are getting these awards that they'll enjoy.
You already have plenty to do in your life.
Yeah.
What made you decide to take on this new role?
I tell you, it was a tough decision because it's a good bit of work, and it's something you don't want to see it pass by. I kind of pride myself, and I like taking over things and being responsible for it. I think I know I have good people around me. I'm not one that's going to be on the microphone a whole bunch. I'm going to be sitting back and surround myself with great people and let them do their thing. And I felt like I could take this over, surround myself with the right people where it's not all on me, and we could have a very strong board to do everything. And I felt like I could put that together and put a quality product out there for Anderson, for all these schools, and decide to run with it. We'll see how it goes.
Why do you think the Anderson Touchdown Club has succeeded when so many others have either floundered or just flat out failed?
That's a great question. I've actually started searching around for other touchdown clubs to try to look at their websites and look at their speakers and programs, and in South Carolina. It's very hard to find. I know they're trying to start up or just started up a tip-off club for the basketball, and it's just so hard to get the consistency and getting people to come. But I found a couple of clubs in Georgia that didn't respond back to me. But clubs, I guess, are a really dying breed, and the speakers is the hard part. Like these speakers, to get a guy, I'm a Georgia guy, to get a guy to come from Athens or Atlanta, they want pretty good money to come, and we're a small club. It's hard to justify that. So are you there to have great speakers for everybody to get to meet famous people, or are you there to have a great meeting to honor your local kids and have somebody that has a great message to give to them? And kind of had to weigh that out, but I think a lot of clubs have struggled with that. And I know we had Coach Donnan from Georgia speak a couple years ago, and the Florida Tallahassee club was flying him from Athens to Tallahassee to speak, probably putting him up for the night. And I'm like, I just need you to drive over for about 30 minutes. And he did us a favor of doing that. But it's the big boys can still do it, but the little guys like this is amazing what this club has done. I don't know how they've done it.
The kids still seem to really appreciate what y'all are doing. I mean, you get some coming back who've been honored over the years are now coming back to the club. Is that something that, I mean, keeps y'all driving? Because it does seem to be really meaningful to these kids and coaches.
Seeing them, and I like it because I don't sit at the head table this past year. I've been sitting out in the crowd, and I've had a lot of the high school kids surround me, and I know a lot of them now because my daughter is in high school, my younger daughter's in middle school, but I know these guys now. I'm starting to associate who they are, and it's a big deal. Like to get pulled from school on a Friday and get to put that blazer on for your school and get recognized in front of your coach, your parents, your community. Like there's no other sport getting that. I've got daughters that play soccer and basketball, and they do it, and they go home, and there is no other recognition other than just the joy of doing it. But around here, like we take it serious. We take the football serious, and these kids they're role models in this town, and we love that. We love getting them in and honoring them and making them big in the community and being aware of who all's around here. I mean, I'm from Hannah, but the Wren folks. I mean, Anderson doesn't always associate itself with Wren, it seems like, because it's a little bit more towards Greenville. But tonight honored the entire Wren football team in the state championship and what they did in basketball, making the Final Four. It's great that all of Anderson celebrates this. We need to kind of cling together a little more. I mean, the BHP folks are so nice and so good. Crescent, Pendleton, Wren, Westside, Hannah. I get Powdersville. All the schools. I mean, it's just amazing groups of kids, and I think we need to honor them as a community. And this holds it all together.
It seems to also make the coaches a little closer than you normally see in a county when you have this. They get together every week. It
does, yeah. And they got to play each other. A lot of these guys, I know there's some realignment going on, but I always look at where the coaches, how close they sit to each other, and the relationship there, because it's that's got to be tough. But it does kind of bring them into a community where you've got your team, and a lot of them are athletic directors for their schools, so they got enough going on. But I think you can find some common bonds with all the head coaches at the schools here, and it's a great group. These guys are great. They're young. I mean, it's a lot of energy. So
great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess like Bill said, tell me why you're involved in this. I mean, first of all, talk about your involvement with football and how you got involved in football and around here, and how long you've been doing it and all that.
Well, my involvement with football started in I guess a long time ago. In the second grade, I got involved with one of the guys on the Clemson chain crew. Became friends with him, and I butted up with him, and he asked me to come help him one day when they were short. And the next thing you know, they had somebody retire, and I'm on the chain crew. Next thing you know, and 31 years later, I did that for 31 years at Clemson, and then after that, I moved up to the radio booth, in the Clemson radio booth with Don Munson and those folks, and I did that for 4 years. And then last year, I started working with the stat crew booth at Clemson. So that's my involvement with football. And
is that how you became friends with Tajh?
That's how I got to know Tajh when he was a quarterback. I was, like you said, we butted up, and I would give him the footballs before the game and let him test them out and all that kind of stuff. And my involvement with the touchdown clubs, I guess, probably been 15 years maybe.
I was going to say, you're on the board. You got plenty to do. Why did you get involved with the Anderson Touchdown Club?
Well, I love football, and I love high school football. And to see these kids get honored the way we do, and It's just it's a good thing for this community. It brings everybody together. I joke with people on Friday nights, I want all 8 teams to win, and that's not always possible because they play each other sometimes. But I pull for all 8 county high schools, and we do the pick'em contest at the Touchdown Club. That's my thing. Had a couple of people ask me tonight, "You gonna still do the pick'em contest?" I said, "Absolutely." That's one of the favorite parts of the club for these old guys. They love making picks. So it's been fun being a part of it for a long time now.
And they're always looking for new members, right?
Always looking for new members. It's vital that we get new members because I guess the base of our crew is older gentlemen, and time takes its course, and we lose members every year for that unfortunately pass away, and some can't get out anymore. So Chris coming on this year as the new president, try to get some younger blood, some innovation going on with technology, and do some new things to try to increase our membership and keep the club going. It's real important. So if you like football and like high school football and want to be a part, you can check out our Facebook page, which I know you follow. It tells all about us. We'd love to have some new people come out.
All right, Dan, tell me why you're here tonight for the Anderson Touchdown Club's annual meeting.
I'm here to help Wren High School celebrate its first ever football state championship, 4A, in 2019. And I feel like I'm part of the program because I've done the PA for Wren for the last 9 years for varsity, JV, and C team as a volunteer. So
Now you went to Wren too, right?
Yeah, I did. I went to Wren. I graduated in '79. Jeff Tate and I we were in school together. I actually got a ring in the ring ceremony last week. So it's a great team. These kids had just a different chemistry about them. A lot of them have played together since they were little, so they just know how each other plays, and it was a nice season to watch.
How important do you think Touchdown Club is for these kids to be recognized?
I think it's great that there's still a Touchdown Club in Anderson. I understand there's not that many left. I think this is great for them. They need the recognition. I mean, that's a lot of grinding, even at that level. And just to see that people care about what they've done, what they've accomplished means a lot. We had a good crowd at the ring ceremony last Saturday night. Last Saturday night. So it's great to see the community come out behind them. And it's great to see them be recognized for an achievement that's taken 62 years to make.
It's important for you to come out to these kind of touchdown clubs and encourage the kids.
Well, I think any opportunity that we get to share is important. The experiences that I had are going to be similar to some of that these kids will get for themselves. And if I don't share those, then what am I really doing? These memories and these experiences aren't just for me, it's for them as well. So I remember sitting in that seat over there right where these kids are and being able to impart and take in some of this wisdom and knowledge. And it was things that encouraged and helped me later on in my journey as well. So some of these kids are transitioning out. Some kids are freshmen, sophomores. And I think this is a very vital and important moment for their growth and for their story going forward too.
Did you find it encouraging when you were a player to have these high school touchdown clubs?
Sure, absolutely. It wasn't as big as this, The state of South Carolina does it a little bit better than the state of Virginia. I say, I say that, with a whole heart here, but no, what Duckworth and his whole team is putting together over here, I think it's pretty special, man. I'm just thankful and excited that they included me to be a part of this ceremony tonight.